Welcome, everyone, to the AudioLink Podcast. Tom here with your boy, Lucas Mole.
What's up?
We're going to be talking about mixing, mostly about plug-in chains today, so super excited. Hanging out outside here in Dallas, Texas. Listen along. What's up, everybody? Tom and Lucas here. Say hello, Lucas.
Your phone just dropped.
I know.
Tell them where we are.
We're actually in my backyard right now.
Hey.
Because it's beautiful out in Dallas. And
it's not terrible right now. It's about to be really bad.
yeah, now it's great.
Now
so
it's
we're
awesome.
enjoying it.
Yeah, it feels great.
So today we're going to talk about birds of prey. No. We're going to talk about plug-in chains.
I was going to say, can they hear it?
I was
Maybe
just
not with the
thinking about
7B.
birds.
We should have a
yeah,
shotgun
if we had shotgun
pointed
mics,
up.
we could pick up some interesting stuff up
Yeah,
there.
no one will be able to hear that right now.
Okay, we're going to talk about plug-in chains. We're going to get right into
Plug-in chains.
it. We all love plugins if we like audio.
Some people don't.
Yeah,
There's like
that's
this-
true. Remember when there was like a
this
war
buzz.
about that?
Yeah. Too many plugins, not enough plugins.
Wait, but did you ever have people that were like, "Oh no, that's for people that don't know how to do audio"?
Yeah, in the console. It's like, you got to just use the console. I've always met these people, that kind of people.
Yeah, those guys have dwindled away.
I feel like they're shining away.
Yeah, it was just like,
feels like that.
There was multiple people in my life that were like, one in specific that I won't call out. That was like, oh yeah, no, that's like for if you don't know what you're doing, you just like use those presets. And I was like, I had heard a couple mixes with lots of, with guys using Waves, and I was like, I don't think that's what that is.
That sounds pretty good.
I think that's for people that really know what they're doing.
In your time in Chicago when you grew up, did you have plugins available for mixing for a house?
Not until 2014.
What console did you have?
CL5.
CL5.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, those.
that's good though.
Yeah,
for
those
back in the
plugins.
day.
No, I'm saying I got Waves. I got Waves in 2014, but yeah, I got CL5 at the same time.
How I have a funny story about Waves and Yamaha. I don't know if I should share this live.
Yeah,
I have a history with it. But how did you use Waves? Did you have the cards, the Y16s?
Yeah.
Did you do inserts?
Mm-hmm. I started with one card, and I was so excited for the purchase, and then I was so upset
There was
when I
only
realized
16
it was only
channels.
16 channels. I was like, what?
It's like, that's why it's called Y16.
Yeah, that
Which
does
their
make...
stuff is all like Y002. When he
Yeah.
pops on controller and stuff like that, the ID number.
Yeah, I didn't even think through the fact that I was going to be that limited, so that eventually I got 3 cards.
And it's sad because you have 3 slots on the CL5. You can only do 16 per slot, but you have more channels in the console than that.
Yeah, they used pretty much like the that Central Logic, like that whole infrastructure that they had. They used the same one from the M7 on the CL. Like
Yeah.
everything's pretty much the same.
That's right.
And I'm like, dude, the M7's from like 2006.
Now, talk about why does it sound so wrong to say M7 CL with Waves? That doesn't sound
Dude,
it doesn't sound right.
No, it
for
doesn't.
Some reason.
Yeah, you're like, it's like saying
something is off.
yeah.
It's like
yeah.
my grandpa wearing Jordans.
No,
You know,
exactly. That is 100% so accurate.
Or Uggs.
Low key,
Like
low
my
key,
grandpa walking in Uggs.
low key. Exactly, dude.
This is what I did, okay? So I found out about the Y16 cards, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. So I bought a Waves bridge, and I patched
What year is this?
all the inputs a couple years ago,
Okay.
5 years ago.
Okay.
I used to patch all the inputs from the stage box on Dante into the Waves bridge. From the Waves bridge, it would hit the console. So I could have all
you
64
hit Waves
channels.
on the way in
Mm-hmm.
instead of inserts. You did it like
Yeah,
how
I'm
you
not-
have to do it on the X32.
I'm not proud of that, but
Yeah.
I had more than, 48 channels?
And you were on a
At
CL3.
that point, you have
Yeah,
64
yeah,
of
yeah.
Waves. So,
Yeah.
but then if that thing dies, you lose all your inputs.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
also, you have
yeah.
to do the gains on the R remote because
Dude,
your input on the
That's
console
terrible. You did that to
doesn't
yourself.
show. It doesn't show the analog.
You
in.
could just insert Dante inserts.
Yeah.
You just didn't know that.
No.
Yeah, that.
Oh, I
that
didn't think
happens.
about it.
Yeah, it's with M32. If you haven't done Waves, like
Or no, it actually, if you did inserts, it would loop, right? Because
you
I
mean?
would be getting the same input twice.
No, yeah. If you do inserts on a CL, it's just like an insert on a Digico or something. You would say, say that's. Oh, because it's Dante.
I was hitting
is
the
native.
bridge
Dante
first.
is
Yeah.
native. Oh, yes, you're right.
From the stage box. It was a whole thing.
Wait, so maybe that is
And
the
then
way.
I had a whole
Yeah, my brain.
crisis because the clock was not working in the bridge I had, and then it was throwing everything off. Then I had to spend so much time in it. But anyways, after that I sold it.
Wait a second. I've never even run a CL with the bridge for Waves, and I just realized it's a bad solution.
Yeah.
Because you have to hit it on the way in,
Yeah.
just like with the X32, how you have to hit the waves on the way in, which is annoying because your gain's on the console.
That's right.
You have to go into the setup menu.
It's only trim.
It's just trim. Yeah, that's very lame.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
But,
enough of our grievances there.
That's my story with Yamaha.
Yeah, I'm having Waves. So
I grew up on. You talked about your CL5. I grew up on the Allen Heath TF112. Remember that?
That's an analog one.
Analog, no, digital. But it's
Allen
that
Heath.
Allen Heath. It was the dark gray one. It has a tiny screen on the top.
Dude.
TF112.
Those are old.
They're very old.
That's before GLD.
Before that, I think they used to call the stage IDR, the stage box.
Yeah, because then there was the ID Live series.
Yeah.
Which that's what Brandon used with Mute Math in
He
India.
did?
He used those ID Lives, dude.
In India, I didn't know that Brandon went to India.
He did.
I knew he did Mute Math, but
he did an India tour with Mute Math
that's
with
crazy.
the Allen Heath. That was before D Live. They had ID Live, which is just
That's so funny.
crazy. Yeah, I heard those consoles crashed like every day. But
you know what's funny? The IDR is the brain of everything.
yeah.
If the console turns off, there's still audio coming out.
Yeah, but it was when people started. I think DigiDesign was the first. I might be making stuff up here. I think DigiDesign was the first digital console manufacturer that once Digital Snakes became a thing.
Yeah.
Because like the M7, all the I/Os on the back. It wasn't like Digital Snakes, like stage boxes.
Yeah.
Once Digital Snakes became a thing, I think they were the first ones that put the engine in the I/O, and that's
in the
what.
stage box.
Yes, exactly. That's how Allen Heath is. Because DigiDesign, like the D Show, and like those the profiles came out before it was Venue. They were doing that already.
Yeah.
But have you mixed
Yeah, it's
on
crazy.
Other than SXL? Have you mixed on Avids much?
SXL, no.
Like SC48s and profiles?
I've done maybe once.
Yeah.
The font was so big on the
Dude.
on the monitor. It was like huge.
Yeah, that
massive.
That GUI was kind of weird.
Yeah. The interface was kind of.
I love the SXL interface now.
But at that point, I mean, you're playing video games like King Kong or like
yeah, exactly.
or like
yeah, Tekken 3, dude.
Mega Man.
Yeah,
It's like that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of
Yeah,
matches the vibe.
Yeah,
The
it was like
season.
an very early 2000s vibe.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
okay, so I was plugins wise. One, if you're thinking about mixing, if you had to have 5 plugins, and you had to make a, you have to address. Well, let's just start here. If you had one plugin and you have to address all of the different inputs, what are you using?
Oof, it has to be a.
You
channel.
already, yeah,
It's
you
gotta be
already
a channel
have.
strip.
All right. Dang it. Dang it. Okay, yeah.
So maybe on the bus.
Yeah,
Let's say
oh,
on the
interesting.
bus. Like, what would you? I'll probably choose a saturation. Instead of a compressor, and I'll probably do the compression on the bus. I don't know. Either a compressor or a saturation plugin.
Dude, you didn't see the video we have coming out about the AI.
I haven't yet, but I'm excited about it. I
Bro.
heard you guys had a blast.
On the bus, we used that IDX
IDX.
on the bus. And it
Drums?
was
What bus?
drums, dude.
Drums.
It was crazy.
See, maybe that's the new.
I was blown away.
Maybe
but
that's the vibe.
I'm giving away the video, but
It's one of those plugins. They're releasing a lot of these plugins where they do like multiple things,
it's doing like 10 things.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like
but
mayo, ketchup, a little bit of mustard, Big Mac sauce,
dude,
like right there.
it's literally everything. Okay, so talk me through. I guess we could just talk. We want to cover a few key plugin chains. We'll start with some of the most important inputs to just give people idea of how we think about mixing. So if you're mixing a bass guitar, generally speaking, what would the plugin chain be? This is in Pro Tools and/or we'll talk Pro Tools, and then if you just go strictly
Live.
Waves next, yeah.
I've been mixing a song this week. It's one of the new songs that Shoreline's gonna release in a couple weeks, and in that song, I remember Junior was playing bass. He's incredible, and his tone it's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It's really so amazing, and it's one of those things where you just kind of now you're just trying to fit whatever it's coming to the mix.
Yeah, you're like, don't change
It's
it too
like,
much.
I can't
it feels
mess this
special.
up. Yeah, it's already
fit things
so good.
around this. Yeah.
So I think I have the Schepps 73 EQ with that drive, and it's just one touch to the
red
left,
drive knob.
the red drive knob,
Yeah.
and a little bit of EQ happening into a, I think it was a 2A, and I think that was it.
Yeah.
And then we made, it went to the bus. On the bus, I think, there's some default plugins on the template. There is the R bass, there is the captator. The captator was on. R bass, I think I ended up turning it off. It might have a C6, I can't remember right now. But the coolest thing is we added a parallel bass, we call it bass huge. And it's just a bunch of drivers and cutting the low end of it, but adding a chorus and making it super stereo.
Mm.
So in moments where he's hitting the micro synth, or in moments where the song's like vamping and going huge, we're automating that thing where just kind of the bass is here, and now there's this huge wall of bass because it became stereo with some modulation going. So there's movement, there is width. It's this it's
That's
so
super cool, dude.
It's super cool.
Yeah, I love that. I never try anything that creative.
You can either use a chorus. I think we're doing a chorus. You can do the doubler. You know the doubler plugin from?
Yeah.
And you just take the direct out.
Stock version. Yeah, the direct out.
There is also if
setting.
you add time adjust
Time
the
adjust,
plugin from Waves Avid,
Mm-hmm.
and you just delay a little bit of one of the sides. It's like, oh wait,
It
things
all
just
of a
got
sudden,
off.
Yeah.
But it opens.
It opens it up.
And it's
yeah,
like this
stereo
cool thing.
stuff is weird.
Yeah.
1 millisecond of delay on one side, and all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah.
it's just
Which
crazy.
in that case, it just worked really well.
That's so cool, dude. Yeah. What's it called? 76. You said CLA
2A.
76 or 2A.
2A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2A, I feel like has always been the go-to. It's weird though. Like there's seasons where I will, and maybe it's obviously dependent on like how controlled the tone is coming out. If they're hitting more distortions and stuff,
Right.
I typically, well, even with that, I guess sometimes I'll have like 2 dB of gain reduction in choruses. Other times I'll have like 10.
710.
Yeah. Do you have a general rule? With
Not
like in a
really.
big chorus, what do you usually see on that?
I don't go more than 5-7.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that
like
sounds
because I
right.
think the micro synth, yes, it raises the volume, but it's pretty like it's one volume almost.
Yeah,
It's like if you look at the wave, it's gonna be like one thing
Yep.
hitting the whole time,
Yep.
which is cool. Now you're just grabbing the pick and trying to figure it out. But I agree. I feel like the 2A is kind of like in my head. I know this is not that's not the rule,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like guitars 3A, acoustic guitars,
Oh yeah.
bass
3A. I do
2A, vocal 76. People change it sometimes.
That. Yep.
Sometimes I think we use the 76 in our templates for
Mm-hmm.
broadcast.
Yep.
So that's a cool for bass. Sometimes we do that with the bluey setting on.
Yep.
That's a cool idea. I think adding distortion nowadays, saturation, I've been a huge fan of that lately. I think I saw a video the other day, Production Online. I think Chris Greeley was talking about. It was the coolest thing ever. It was like, I had never seen that. And it was the Saturn plugin from FabFilter. He had this 3D, it's almost like a tube, a green tube. And every time you add more, it almost like it moves things back and forward. It's like moving things.
I saw that.
Dude,
Yep.
on
I saw that.
Perks, it blew my mind. I was like, I gotta try that, and I did, and it worked. And
Really?
It's like, don't you
it
love
actually
when stuff
like pushed.
works?
Oh yeah, like it seems like a complete scam, and then it actually works.
No, it actually does.
That's sick, dude. No, yeah, distortion. Like in live sound, because I haven't done much record mixing. Distortion, I don't think about it too much. Because typically you're just like trying to get everything as clean. First you're trying to get it. Like I feel like with live sound, the levels of it is like, all right, you're gonna try to get it to sound like music. You know what I mean? And then you're like trying to get it to all really be glued together and one sound. And then once you do that, then you can actually try to get everything to sound separate again.
Yeah.
While it's glued, and like distortion, unless you have a really high fidelity PA, like what we have at Upper Room or Shoreline or something. Distortion in live sound is like, I don't know, like even like NLS, NLS channel and bus. Like I used to use it more, but now I'm like, I just want it clean. Like I'm just trying to get stuff clean. Yeah. That's making it less clean. Yeah. I don't know, but I know in the studio, like stuff like that. Bass guitar is different. Bass guitar, bro, like, and maybe Waves can respond to us with this. I don't. On Waves, if there was a plugin that was like a tone hammer, is there anything?
If Agler came in,
dude,
with a plugin,
we need like a tone hammer or at least a Sansamp bass driver. Like if I want,
Sansamp has one.
On the
Evid has one for Sansamp.
No, but Waves. Like if I'm running, I'm saying Waves in Super Rack.
The tone hammer plugin would be pretty cool,
dude. If I'm like, okay, I want a distortion for my bass to get it sound like what we do. You know what I'm saying?
You
like
can engage the AGS.
If I just put that on, and like all the time, if the bass is too clean and they're trying to do this big stuff, I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
That's a great idea.
I put all these just random. No. We've all had this though. You go on your plugin settings and you go to like GTR or FX, and there's like 300 of them. And if you don't know them, you're just like stump. Distortion. I just click some random one and it sounds terrible. Yeah. Waves, maybe you can respond to us with that. I don't know.
Maybe a partnership.
Dude, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to add a distortion on Super Rack for a bass?
I did. The Schepps 73 is one of them.
Oh yeah. So you would just use the drive
on it
in a pre like that. Yeah, that probably does it.
It does a pretty good job. But that's a great idea. The Tony Hammer as a plugin. Maybe someone should steal that idea and make it happen.
I tried this Schepps, the most recent one that I've used for that. I tried the Schepps
Omni. The new one that came out.
Yes, the one where you can move the chain around. Omni channel, Schepps Omni channel. If you
it's pretty good. It's really good.
Those distortions.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it has like heavy.
Honestly. The compressors on that, I have not had an easy, like, I've not found an application where I tried that and I was like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I haven't really tried the EQs enough, but that distortion, I've had a few circumstances where it was okay.
It's nice.
But, yeah, I guess bass, I would say almost the exact same thing as you. Probably just SSL channel first. Because sometimes I want to use a little. Dude, I feel like I use RVox more than anybody. And we always talk about this. But like even on bass, I'll put RVox just because I could, if I want a noise floor management, it's the most transparent opening gate.
The gate. Do you find yourself using more the gate than the actual compressor on it?
100%, yeah. Here's the thing about RVox, and if you haven't tried this, you probably should. With RVox, if anything needs to become more discoverable, you're just like, I want to make this louder, but I can't increase the ceiling of the sound. I'm just trying to raise the basement of the sound.
Yeah.
Right? That compressor on RVox does it.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you pull both settings together down, or do you do first the compressor and then adjust the output?
Yeah, first the compressor. I mean, I'm like, here's what the circumstance I touch RVox most in is like a vocal, like in the service or whatever, it was good, but then like we hit verse 2 comes back down, or verse 1 or whatever, and I'm like, I just wanted to get to the front a little bit more, just 1 dB, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, problem solved.
Great, right there.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's like, because of the gate feature, if you're cooking the gate, the chance of you adding gain with that plugin and getting feedback or something on a vocal is just slimmer, because you're also using a gate. You know what I mean?
Do you think they made the RVox to be an easier way to use compression on vocals than the 76?
Oh,
Because it's not, the 76 is not as easy to use.
no.
The input and output can really mess you up really
I couldn't
easy.
use one until like last year, dude.
Yeah.
I could 76.
I just thought about this.
The question is, what are the settings inside of RVox? Because
I'm sure we can
my
find out with
guess
ChatGPT.
is my guess. Oh, do you think it will tell us?
Easy.
Ask it.
1,000%. What's your guess?
All right, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna be so wrong, dude. My guess is that the attack is like 5 milliseconds, and the release is like 65.
Here's the breakdown.
It says. What are the attack and release settings inside of the RVox compressor?
Trying to find that.
Let me try this, dude.
It doesn't expose. Okay, the internal compression timing.
Yes, let's hear it.
Attack time is 1 millisecond, very fast attack. Catch
It's
transient
off by
quickly.
4 milliseconds. Sorry, guys.
Release time is 120 200
Ugh.
milliseconds.
120?
100 to 200.
I'm way off.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
adjusts
think. I guess
slightly
it is
based on
kinda
the input.
slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing too. I'm thinking based off of a meter that I'm seeing. Well,
Yeah.
the release I am.
Thanks, ChatGPT.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, I think RVox. Other context RVox is amazing in is like or yeah, like an acoustic guitar. I'll put it on acoustic guitar,
That's a great
especially if
idea.
I have one with like a microphone in it,
Great idea.
where you can just make sure you don't ever have feedback. Just bring the threshold up, just nothing, and then anytime it comes down, you're safe.
Dude, I saw this video that just came out talking about acoustics. Bon Iver song. They were breaking it down. I can't remember what channel was it. Was it BBC? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he picks up this Ibanez. Is that how you say it?
Ibanez, yeah.
Ibanez. We call it Ibanez in Brazil.
Yeah, you're
So
probably.
I'm going to call it Ibanez.
All right, Ibanez, got it.
And he starts playing it, and it's that stereo guitar. It has
Yep.
2 pickups on it with 2 outputs, quarter inch.
Yeah.
It's like this coolest sound ever. And that song has a lot of, it's very acoustic driven because it's,
yeah.
it's
A lot of
acoustic is the
stuff
main
going on.
instrument. So
Yeah.
those scenarios, I think it would definitely work.
Oh, dude, yeah. Anytime it's not like a anytime it's not like a traditional pickup, but there's any type of microphone or like a bigger body one that tends to feedback more, like at Elevate
great.
where I
Yep.
mix, they have guy
Dude.
there has all these nice acoustic guitars, dude.
It was mind blowing when I heard it.
Hmm.
That day I went with you,
Yeah.
and he was playing it, and I heard the recording. I was like, he's playing live. I'm like,
Oh,
this
that
guy
acoustic guitar at Elevate?
is playing perfectly.
Oh, bro.
It sounds incredible. He's playing when
Yes.
it's like, it was a
Dude,
lesson of
dude,
how to play acoustic
of
guitar
how to play
live.
acoustic. Well, Clay's just a really good acoustic
Yeah.
guitar player.
It was awesome.
But well, he doesn't strum too hard, and he has guitars that actually sound good live. But
I
even
think the way he was holding the pick,
dude,
to strum,
it's just like
was so
it's
good.
like playing
It
for
was
a
right.
microphone in a
Yeah.
studio. That's
It was so
how
right.
he's playing. But
I agree.
okay, next plug-in chain for vocals. Where are you at?
Vocals, I have been digging a lot of the SplitEQ from Eventide.
Yeah.
Super good. I have been using a ton of,
I forget how much you're mixing records, dude.
I've been using a ton of, what else? I've tried the Silk vocals, the live one.
Oh yeah, what do you think?
I liked it. I think I still like the
Soothe more?
Lindell
Oh,
de-esser
yeah.
more. It was.
Oh, you're using Silk for
I was doing a
de-essing
little
kind
bit,
of?
just kind of like de-essing it, but I know you guys tried this because I talked to Lee about it, and I did it before you guys tried it in the studio. That curve bender,
Dude,
the Waves one.
absolute nutty.
We have used it on our. I've put it on the vocal bus for probably 2 to 3 months.
And they press learn each time?
I don't. We just found a setting
that behaves.
that
because
just behaves.
Yeah, the EQ is that's the thing we were discussing. It's a whole plugin chain in one plugin.
Yep.
Because it's not just EQ. It's also soothe.
It's like it's like an easier way to use soothe.
Dude,
That doesn't
'cause
overkill.
Soothe, I feel like everyone messes it up.
Yeah.
Like,
Doesn't overkill.
It's too powerful.
Yeah.
What it does on a small level is great, but people
And for live vocals, live performance, where there's much more dynamic.
have you
It's
tried it
not
on
a
the PA?
studio. No, I haven't tried on the PA.
I'm gonna
I
try
don't
it
think
this
so.
weekend.
I haven't
dude.
tried it yet.
I'm going to try it because I'm like,
I'm down.
it was crazy.
No,
The-
it catch the dynamics, and it's not. It doesn't like. Oh, you don't hear it overpowering on containing it. You don't hear it like, oh, it's sucking it too much.
Mm-hmm.
You just hear, oh, that's pleasing,
Dude,
and that's what you're looking for, right?
the EQ settings, like, yeah, I don't know. The only thing that I think might not work live about it is like the EQ settings are dramatic. Like the EQ that it applies,
Mm-hmm.
at least like to vocals, it was pretty dramatic. And I don't know if you have.
on Pro Tools, do you know when you keep the graphic
Uh-huh.
on the mixing page?
Yep.
When you edit, it does some crazy stuff on that graphic. It's like the craziest thing ever.
Dude, I'm like, it does dramatic stuff, but you'll see on the video,
Yeah.
like I don't know, it was pretty
Yeah.
killer. Okay,
It was
so
it. One
so
thing,
that
I'll
was
say
your
this.
EQ. Yeah, go ahead.
I was doing a vocal parallel this past week. I tried 2 channels of vocal parallel. One of them, have you heard of the Safari plugins?
Yep.
They're coming out. They have this super cool video of this guy playing all the instruments that I saw on Instagram the other day. It was so good. But there's one plugin that's called Gorilla,
Okay.
and it's a guitar distortion pedal. Put that on your vocal. on the parallel.
Oh, like a little
Saturation.
distortion on the parallel.
And then add, I think there's the Manny Malkin tone shaper EQ.
Yeah.
Put that underneath that, shape it, and add a little bit of that. It's so cool.
Dude. Yeah,
So
Manny,
cool.
I want to try the Manny distortion on bass. I haven't even thought of trying that before.
We
You
use it
ever
on
done
our gate verb.
Oh, I know that, dude. You're giving away all the secrets. What's going
Probably
on
shouldn't.
here?
Sorry, guys.
Why are
Cut.
you saying that here? I'm joking.
It's not really a secret.
Yeah, dude, it's not
it
a
works.
secret. It's not a secret.
works
It
for us.
works. Honestly, it's also very easy to mess up.
It is.
That
It
if you
is.
just load it, it doesn't work. Like Brandon talks like it's so easy. It's not. I have a
Mhm.
hard time with it sometimes.
And it's very responsive.
Yeah.
So you're moving his stuff. You're hearing what you're moving, which is good, but it also can be kind of dangerous.
The gated verb just ends up too long very easily. I don't know, dude. But yeah, okay, wait. So we got derailed from your vocal chain. So you started with SplitEQ. What's your main compressor you're going to?
Main compressor, I've been using the TubeTech by SoftTube, the blue one.
Oh, the soft tube plug-in version.
TubeTech, yeah.
Yeah.
CL Mark II.
Okay.
I've been using that guy. Sometimes I use a 2A. So I've been using the 2A from UAD.
What's
been
better
loving-
about it?
I don't know. I've been loving it lately on vocals.
Okay.
And then on the vocal bus, sometimes I do the 2500 API. Sometimes I don't do it. I bypass it. But I've been loving those.
Faster attack or
Right.
slower attack on the API?
On the API, a little slower attack.
Yeah, to just peak management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other ones are, each one is one. One is fast, the other one's slow on the chain.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I've been doing that, and I've been loving
you still
it.
use C4?
C4. I have it. It's in the template. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I don't. It depends on how good my tuning
That's
was.
crazy, dude. Lee doesn't use multiband.
Yeah. So
was
it
shocking
depends.
to me.
So do you know when you're tuning vocals, you can adjust the the dynamic of the wave, like in the your lowest and your peak. You can adjust that when you're tuning.
Yep.
So sometimes I'll do that stuff and it just kind of holds everything together.
Yeah.
So it's easier. I think I like to use dynamics when it's live. When I'm mixing, it just depends on how the performance was. Some people, they can be very good vocalists. Like I was doing that a tiny set with the Gamboas, and this dude was singing, and I bypassed. Like he has such a good technique with the mic, pulling the mic, and
isn't that
like,
the best when they pre-compress? The input with their it's pre-compressed.
It was so good.
Yeah,
I ended up putting I think we did the Galaxy slap delay on his vocal tape echo, and that was it. I mean, we didn't do anything else. And
Talking about that Ashwood thing.
I think so. Yeah, that was the one at the studio jogs.
Oh no! Yeah, that wasn't Ashwood. Yeah,
it was.
That was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I think it was a
Brandon
preset.
told me about that. Yeah.
So it works, So I think it depends. It depends. I made a revision yesterday of a song that I'm mixing, that I made a change on the C4, and I listened to it today.
What was it?
It wasn't good. It wasn't a good change.
Bro,
I gotta go back and
don't move the ancient boundary stones, brother. Don't move them, dude.
I released a little bit of the low mids on the C4.
Terrible idea.
It was compressing like 6 dB, 7 dB. Now it was like 2.
Terrible idea, dude.
Horrible. It destroyed. Like I was like,
Brandon, well, it's so much range.
Yeah.
It's so much frequency content. Like it's just such a wide range of it on that band.
It's funny. I noticed it changes the way you hear everything else. There's more low end on the vocals. It's probably one of, not the loudest thing, but it's pretty up there in the middle.
But dude, the
Right?
the crossover band the lowest is going to be at like 1K. So you're turning up everything between like.
Well, I moved that. I moved it.
Okay.
I moved a little bit, so it's a little bit less. But it's still, it's still
it's a lot
what
of
is
range.
it, 100 to 700?
That's a lot.
I mean,
dude.
it's
500
a
and
ton.
100 are completely different frequencies.
So
yeah,
that was a
that's
bad move.
interesting.
Here's me being vulnerable.
Yeah,
We all
dude,
have those
bad
moments,
moves happen, dude.
Just gotta go back and fix it.
Yeah. I guess vocal chain wise of late, I haven't changed much of anything except, one thing I have done is if I want to get the vocals a bit louder, okay, so like I lean towards slow attack. One thing Brandon's guided me into, like right when I started mixing with compression, I was slow attack because I didn't know what I was doing. So I had to go slow attack. Otherwise, I felt like I was like ruining the audio.
Oh, their performance. You wanted to hear that transient coming in?
Well, yeah, in general, I feel like I would, if you're slower attack, if someone's learning compression, if you go slower attack, it's easier to like.
I see it.
I think at the beginning, you know what I mean? If you go fast attack, you're catching that whole signal. You better know where you're. You know what I'm saying?
You're
cutting with the sharper knife, dude.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
agree.
sharper. So, generally like my plug-in chain, the 76 I have this way and this way, So I'm SSL RVox 76, which I try not to add gain with the RVox unless I need it. You know what I mean? So, SSL channel RVox, SSL channel RVox RDSer. 76, and then which is as slowest attack, fastest release, and then like C6 and with tune, and I always would just use essentially in that environment the 76 is doing almost everything. That's without a 2A in there, which is usually fine. But if you put
Bluey
fast,
or Blacky?
huh?
What setting on the 7.6?
Blue. I'm vocals on Bluey, dude.
You're Bluey.
Yeah. I feel like because the threshold's so high, I run into feedback issues easier. Like if I have to push that much and then I'm like cranking this one way back. I like the lower threshold. But yeah, Bluey has the lower threshold. Yeah, because you engage Bluey faster. Yep. So point is, the compressor on SSL channel, the fast attack mode that I only usually used to use on like snare bottom and keys. The fast attack mode, 2-to-1, quickest release, and just a little bit because as you turn the threshold to the right, it adds gain.
When did you find that out? That turning the
Threshold adds gain.
The attack and release knob on the 76 to the right is actually making it faster.
Oh, I'm a nerd. I knew that right away.
You knew that?
Yeah.
It took me a while to find that out.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
I read manuals and stuff. But point is, that fast attack mode on the SSL channel compressor on vocals is kind of cool. Because it acts, because it's kind of like what RVox does in that as you turn the threshold down, it adds gain.
Yeah.
And it typically takes you a while to actually get gain reduction at normal levels. You get past unity. So that's a trick I've been using so that I just kind of shrink the dynamic range of the vocal right on the way in.
Yeah.
And with the fast attack, it's not changing the tone very much. That's probably been the only change of consequence. I never used to use floating bands, and now I do on the C6 too.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon never uses floating bands, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Lately, I'm I have an issue in the PA, someone's vocal. I'm getting something. So to have one floating band,
you do it.
It can do the trick. Because I don't want to I feel like Brandon's always talking about the upper mid one, just lower the threshold. Or the top one, just lower the threshold. But sometimes I feel like that's so committal.
Because it's too much. And
that's so many frequencies.
Compromising. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I'm wrong. Probably am.
It depends on the scenario, I guess.
Yeah, I've been using the smaller ones.
What do you do for, and I don't know if you want to end with this, but we can still keep going.
We can wrap with this,
What do you do on effects? What has been some
this
sort
is a
of
good
effects
question.
that's when I start doing this, that was a nice move.
Dude, oh my gosh. Okay, so vocals wise, which is, the majority of the effects we're running. I have gone through a whole journey. It's so funny you bring this up. Okay, first, before I talk about reverbs, I want to talk about delays. I was always just an H delay guy. Always just true
Classic.
and true. And Andrew Bosman from Elevate, dude, got me on, not Super Tap. No, dude, no. Something Rider. What's that one?
The Waves one?
Yes, the Waves one.
That's more galaxy looking?
Yes. What is that?
It's
delay. Space delay?
Space something. Space Rider?
Space Rider.
We'll find it out right now.
Okay. So.
And you have, is it a delay? It's a delay in the verb.
And a verb. So what
Space Rider.
He got me, Andrew Brosman got me turned on to it. So shout out Andrew. Great guy. So what I'm doing is.
And a chorus.
Yeah, well, you can engage or disengage the different ones.
Yeah, that's cool.
So now what the chain is.
I love it.
Is H delay into that.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'll use a little of the reverb.
Yep.
And then that stereo delay is then hitting more delays.
Yep.
And it can just kind of give you that
Yeah.
If you just want width and carry on the vocals, dude.
Yeah.
It's a very gentle thing. A lot of it is pretty low pass.
Yep.
So for delays, that's been my go-to. What's your go-to delay?
I've been doing something similar. One of my favorite things that I've been doing lately is doing EchoBoy into a Valhalla Shimmer.
Of course.
And it's this cool, grand,
You think Valhalla is the best reverb ever?
I think they're pretty much up there.
Yeah.
For the price, dude, $50.
Valhalla is amazing.
I mean,
I wish Valhalla, if you're hearing that, who makes Valhalla?
Something DSP. What is it?
Whoever you guys are.
I can't remember.
If you guys made a unit that we could just insert, imagine if they made a pocket hardware unit that you could IO Dante, SoundGrid, USB, just anything on, and you could use Valhalla reverbs. I would totally buy that.
It would be the coolest thing ever.
I would totally buy that.
Literally.
If you could buy that for $400, you have one sale done.
Literally.
All right, and then reverbs. Yeah, you just
Reverbs.
That's your delay. What's your main
reverbs?
vocal reverbs?
I have been trying. Well, I love the R-Vibe,
Okay.
Revibe,
I don't know what you're talking about.
the Avid one, stock.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing reverb. I've been digging that. I've done a couple Seventh Heaven,
Yeah.
a little bit in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, I've been digging those. Sometimes I go back to the Reverb.
Oh, dude, our verb never fails.
It's pretty good, you know.
All right. So I think all time, my favorite vocal reverb. Okay. So like go to on a week to week basis, this is not it. Okay. But if you're doing a production where you can do big effects, IR Live is still my favorite, dude. Did you ever use...
Do you load something in it?
No. Just plate long
Yeah.
is
It's
like...
pretty cool.
It's crazy, dude.
You can load stuff if you want to.
And the settings are so intuitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried H-Verb for a long time. I could never get it, dude.
They have some... Did you use to expand it and tried all the drives and...
Maybe I'm just... I don't know if I'm good enough for that, dude.
All those knobs.
I never got H-Verb to work. Even though it looks so cool, you know, but yeah, I think effects wise, and then drums, you know, R-Verb on the R-Verb on the R-Verb, and the R-Verb
is great. Valhalla plate is great.
Yes, Slate,
VSC,
Slate
Verb
VST.
Suite.
What's the drum? What's it called?
Setting 80s.
Yeah, dude.
On the Verb Suite.
It's
is that what we're talking about?
Yes, exactly, dude. That's exactly the setting.
It's a great.
Yeah, drum plate.
Great.
Yeah. All right, that's enough talk about plugins.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys.
Go try them.
Go try this stuff. Ask questions if you want. Bye.